Hi, this is Cindy from Candle Studio 1422, and if you're watching this video, you may have purchased or thinking about purchasing the DIY Soy Candle Making Kit. I'm going to walk you through the process of making it at home. I am at home myself, so if you happen to hear my dog bark, we're just going to keep rolling on. Okay, open up your box. What you'll find inside are your instructions. It, of course, gives you step-by-step instructions, but also a list of all of the products that are in the box and what you'll need at home, which is a microwave and a thermometer if you want to, if you have one handy. If not, I'm actually going to do this without a thermometer. So we'll walk through that. You'll have your jar. This jar, it's at least 45 hours of burn time. Soy wax burns slow, so the candles last a long time, and may offer upgraded jars as well, but the instructions will be the same no matter what size jar you have. All right, you have your bamboo spoon here, your jar of soy wax flakes. You'll have a wick centering tool, very handy. You'll have your actual wick, your warning label and your wick sticker. And the fun part, you'll have your fragrance oil in there. Everything is pre-measured. Your wax is pre-measured and your oil is pre-measured. This scent happens to be white tea, which is has been one of my most popular scents over the last several years I've been making candles. All right, so once you have everything laid out, the first thing you're gonna do is you wanna prep your jar. To prep your jar, you just wanna take your wick sticker here. That's my German Shepherd. And we're going to just apply it to the end of the wick here and then put it in our jar. Now, there he is, can't help it. We're gonna put it in the center here. Now I do have some handy dandy tools that make it easier for me to apply the wick, but since you probably don't have it at home, I'm not gonna use it here. I want you to get a true sense of what it's gonna be like without the tools that I may have. And I have it nice and centered. I can hold it up without the wick coming out. I've never had a problem with these wick stickers, so they're pretty sturdy. All right, and the next thing I'm gonna do is put my soy wax in the microwave. Start with 1.5 minutes. It's not gonna be enough time, but we don't want it to get too hot. So start with 1.5 minutes, and then we'll see where we are. The next thing we're gonna do is put our soy wax in the microwave. I am going to start at 2 minutes. Now 2 minutes won't be enough time, so I'll do 2 minutes at first and then 30-minute increments until I get the wax where I want it to be. So 2 minutes, I'll see you in 2. So my wax has been in actually for a little bit more than 2 minutes, and you can see it's not fully melted yet, but we're getting there. We want the wax to look transparent and not translucent and cloudy. So I'm actually going to put this in for another minute. For you, I would say do 30-minute increments. Every microwave is different, just to be on the safe side. Alrighty. And we'll see where we are in a minute. Okay, now my wax is where I want it to be. You see, it kind of looks like pale apple juice. Now remember, this is glass in a microwave, so it gets really hot. You definitely want something to protect your hands from the heat, as well as a heat-resisting surface to put it on. So what I'm gonna do now, it's the color that I want it to be, and it's not super hot actually, but still use a pot holder, all right? If you have a thermometer, pro tip, you want the temperature between 175 and 185. I have learned over the years that range works for me every time. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna add my fragrance oil, and you wanna get your fragrance oil in there pretty quickly, all at once. And then I'm going to stir for 2 minutes. And I'm not gonna make you watch me stir for 2 minutes, so I'll be back. Now I'm at the end of my 2 minutes of stirring, and I just wanted you to see that I'm not going super fast and going in different directions here. So just do that your entire 2 minutes. And that's my timer. Stop. All right. What I'm gonna do from here is I want the wax to cool a bit before I pour it into the jar. So if you have a thermometer, every space is different. I've learned from my experience with soy wax, and this is 100% soy wax, pouring in the 130s is just too low. So I try to aim for a temperature in the mid to high 140s. Set a timer for this size jar, about 6 minutes, and just let the wax cool before you pour it into your jar. And I'll see you then. Okay, so my timer just went off, and I am going to go ahead and pour into my jar. The glass is still pretty hot, so I would still use a pot holder. Depends on how much tolerance you can take. I could take a lot, so I'm not going to use a pot holder. I'm just going to go ahead, pour it in. You'll probably have a little bit of wax left over. Pour it in slowly but consistently. You don't want to pour, stop, pour, stop, pour, stop. You'll just have a little bit left there for the size jar. And then I'm going to center it with my handy dandy little centering tool here. I also use clothespins for this size jar, which works really well. I'm just gonna sit it there. And again, on a heat resistant surface, I'm gonna let this cool at least for 2 hours before I cut the wick. If you can wait 24 hours, I would suggest doing so. Also, soy is a finicky little wax, so I would also avoid areas with too much of a draft. It could mess up the tops of your candles, and rooms that are too cool. I generally keep my space around 70 degrees, give or take a degree, and that works pretty well for me. But the drafts you definitely want to try to avoid as much as possible. And I will be back when the candle solidifies. I just wanted to come on really quick to show what the candle looks like about an hour into solidifying or cooling. You can still see that it's a little liquidy at the top, but it's slowly solidifying. And I think in about 45 minutes or so, it'll be really looking good, and we can cut the wick either at the 2-hour mark, or again, if you want to wait until 24 hours before you cut the wick. Welcome back. It's been about 2 hours since our candle solidified. I'm just gonna take the wick centering tool off. I don't need that anymore. It's completely solidified. It's a little warm to the touch, just a little bit at the 2-hour mark. You could cut your wick if you wanted to about 1/4 inch. I'm actually not gonna cut the wick right now. I'm just gonna wait a while just because I'm not in a rush here. And you cut the wick to 1/4 inch, put your lid on, and what you wanna do is let the candle cure for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, just so the scent can build its strength. Soy, it's a 100% soy wax candle, so it needs a little love. You let it cure, the scent will build its strength over a couple of weeks. Some oils actually don't need that long, but just to err on the side of caution, I'd say 2 weeks, and then you're good to go. Just to clarify a little bit earlier on the cooling time, when you're letting your wax cool before you pour it into the jar, you can do anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes depending on the temperature of your space. Your instructions on your cart will tell you about 7 minutes to let your wax cool before pouring it into your jar. I actually poured this one about 5 minutes just because I'm familiar with my space. But 5 to 7 minutes usually works fine. If you have a thermometer, makes it a little easier. That means you're gonna pour somewhere between 145, 149 to pour into your jar. And again, you wanna avoid a drafty space and a space that's too cool. I hope you enjoyed your kit. Till next time, take care.